Hi everybody, I am Marisa DeFranco. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. And why am I in this race? I'll keep it simple. One reason, to fight for the people against the powerful, which is what I have done for my entire career. I am a small business person, and I represent small business people. I represent families, I represent people fleeing asylum when their lives are at stake, and I represent kids in foster care. Okay, how do Democrats beat Scott Brown? We beat Scott Brown by being Democrats and by taking the fight onto our own turf instead of constantly capitulating and modulating and triangulating and always fighting on their turf. That's the kind of Democrat that we need in this race. The kind of Democrat that will actually say, enough is enough on delaying creation of jobs in this country. Corporations and the private sector are not doing it. Why? They're sitting on $2 trillion worth of cash, and they don't have to hire because they can currently squeeze the productivity out of the current workforce, which is exactly what they will do and continue to do until the government offers our country a real deal. And what is a real deal? That is direct government investment. For example, $100 billion over the next 2 years will create 2 million green jobs. And any Republican that says that's deficit spending, guess what? The last time we deficit spent was after the Great Depression. World War II came. We had how much money do we have in the coffers? Less than zero. We deficit spent to defeat fascism, and we can invest now to create jobs in the short term, and in the long term, we will get our budget under control. And I'm a Democrat willing to say that because that is the only way you're going to create jobs in this country, because the private sector will see, hey, the government's creating jobs, they're inventing things, they're making money. We want a piece of that. And that's how you foster competition in the private sector. I know, because I'm in the private sector. But what else do I do for a living? I fight the federal government for a living, and I win. And as a Democrat, I'm proud to say that I know that the federal government can do good things, but when they're wrong, I say they're wrong, and I'm the person that's willing to stand up and say that. Now about jobs. We don't just want minimum wage jobs or just any kind of job. We want good jobs. And what does that mean? Unions. Hey, I checked my dictionary this morning. Guess what? Union is actually a 5-letter word, not a 4-letter word. So, if people want good jobs, as good Democrats, we need to support unions. And if union busting in the private sector and crushing wages is so great, can somebody please tell me why Walmart, the biggest anti-union, anti-worker company out there on the block, can somebody tell me why, if their jobs plan is so good, their stock has been stagnant for the last 10 years? Because it's a lie. Unions create jobs because people get paid well, it brings in revenue, and it goes back into the economy, and that's how we get this economy humming again. Social Security. Some people say, even Democrats, elected officials and others will say we need to cut, we need to scrape a little bit off the top of Social Security. Pardon me, but Social Security is funded for the next 25 years. And if we say how you really fund Social Security, which is to lift the cap, because somebody making $106,800 a year pays exactly the same Social Security tax as somebody making $1 billion or $1 million and everywhere in between. That is not people paying their fair share. And if you lift the cap, something that President Obama actually supported when he was candidate Obama, you lift the cap, Social Security is funded for the next 75 years. That's how you take care of Social Security. Finally, health care. I am a candidate on the record in favor of single-payer health care. My dad is, thank you, my dad is a retired doctor and my mom is a retired nurse. My dad's an internal medicine doctor and would spend lots of time with patients on the front line. So we are going there, and until everybody wakes up and realizes that single payer is the only way out of spending $7,000 per capita in this country, which is way more than what any other country in the Western nations, the industrialized world, pays. $4,000 and $3,000, Canada, the US, France, and England all pay that much less. They're $3,000 or $4,000, and we get much less than what we pay for. Higher infant mortality, we die quicker, diabetes is higher, and across the board, we're not getting what we pay for. So if we're going to pay for it, let's pay a little less, let's invest in preventative care, and guess what? Maybe Medicare expenses wouldn't be so high if people didn't have, shoddy insurance and health care all the way up until leaving when they're 65. They'd be healthier, we'd invest money on preventative medicine, and when they hit 65, that would help you with the Medicare costs. How's that for a plan? So I support single-payer health care. And finally, how do we beat Scott Brown? Not only do we need to turn out our Democratic base and the people that strayed, we also must appeal to independence. And I am the candidate who appeals to independence. I am the person with real-world, on-the-ground experience. And make no mistake, this is a street fight. And I am the one with the street experience, again, with the backbone of this country being small business, being a small business person, representing small businesses, and lots of businesses, and on women's rights, and on children's rights, and on LGBT, and all the civil rights are my background. That resonates with independence, because I not only talk the talk, but I walk the walk. And if you want somebody who has the backbone to call it like it is and never stop fighting, be proud to be a Democrat and stand up for our values, I am your candidate. So please join me at marisadefranco.com. Thank you.